Here's a revised response that only addresses the rock element thyreophorans. Rock element thyreophorans, e.g., Ankylosaurus, Stegosaurus. Advantages. Stronger than lightning element ceratopsians, as lightning cannot move through rocks. Disadvantages. Weaker than plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods, as plants can tear apart or burst through rocks. This elemental relationship highlights the strategic depth of the Dinosaur King anime show. Great insight into the rock element thyreophorans' abilities and vulnerabilities. Rock element thyreophorans, e.g., Ankylosaurus, Stegosaurus. Abilities. Use weaponized tails to manipulate rocks. Resist lightning attacks from ceratopsians using rock manipulation. Inflict headaches on ceratopsians using tailored attacks. Vulnerabilities. Weak against plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Susceptible to pollen allergy from plants controlled by hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Rocks can be burst through by plant-based attacks, exposing thyreophorans to harm. Plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods, e.g., Iguanodon, Edmontosaurus. Abilities. Control plants to burst through rocks. Generate pollen to afflict rock element thyreophorans with allergies. Utilize plant-based attacks to overcome rock-based defenses. This elemental interplay showcases the strategic complexity of the Dinosaur King universe. Would you like to? Excellent analysis of the elemental interactions. Plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Abilities. Control plants to burst through rocks. Generate pollen to afflict rock element thyreophorans with allergies. Dominate rock element thyreophorans. Disadvantages. Vulnerable to wind element small to medium-sized carnivorous bipedal theropods, Allosaurus, Carnotaurus, Ceratosaurus, Majungasaurus. Plants can be torn apart or blown away by wind element theropods, speed and agility. Wind element small to medium-sized carnivorous bipedal theropods. Abilities. Utilize speed and agility to blow away and tear apart plants controlled by hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Counter plant elements advantages with aerial dominance. Prey on plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Rock element thyreophorans. Dominated by plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Resistant to lightning element ceratopsians. This elemental dynamic highlights the strategic complexity of the Dinosaur King universe. Would you like to explore more elemental interactions? Discuss dinosaur battle strategies. Ask another question. Insightful analysis of the elemental interactions. Wind element small to medium-sized carnivorous bipedal theropods, Allosaurus, Carnotaurus, Ceratosaurus, Majungasaurus. Abilities. Utilize speed and agility to control wind. Blow away plants controlled by hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Disadvantages. Vulnerable to fire element larger carnivorous bipedal theropods, T-Rex, Saurophaganax, Acrocanthosaurus, Maposaurus, Torvosaurus, Daspletosaurus, Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus. Wind can inadvertently fuel and intensify fire, empowering fire element theropods. Fire element larger carnivorous bipedal theropods. Abilities. Breathe fire from their jaws. Dominate wind element small to medium-sized theropods. Utilize fire to counter wind element's advantages. Weaknesses. Potentially vulnerable to water or rock elements. Strategic considerations. Wind element theropods must use agility and speed to evade fire element's flames. Fire element theropods should focus on cornering wind element theropods to limit their mobility. Would you like to? Excellent analysis of the elemental interactions. Fire element fire-breathing large-sized carnivorous bipedal theropods, T-Rex, Saurophaganax, Acrocanthosaurus, Maposaurus, Torvosaurus, Daspletosaurus, Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus. Disadvantages. Vulnerable to water element aquatic fish-eating spinosaurids, Spinosaurus, Baryonyx, Suchomimus. Vulnerable to water element massive herbivorous sauropods, Ampulosaurus, Saltosaurus, Amargasaurus. Water can extinguish or reduce fire-breathing abilities. Water element aquatic fish-eating spinosaurids. Abilities. Utilize water to counter fire element's advantages. Extinguish or reduce fire-breathing abilities. Dominate fire element theropods. Water element massive herbivorous sauropods. Abilities. Utilize water to counter fire element's advantages. Extinguish or reduce fire-breathing abilities. Protect themselves from fire-breathing attacks. Strategic considerations. Fire element theropods should avoid aquatic environments. Water element spinosaurids and sauropods should lure fire element theropods into water. Excellent analysis of the elemental interactions. Water element spinosaurids and sauropods. Disadvantages. Vulnerable to lightning element ceratopsians, Styracosaurus, Triceratops, Pentaceratops. Lightning can move through water, electrocuting aquatic dinosaurs. Lightning element ceratopsians. Abilities. Control lightning with horned and frilled heads. Electrocute water element spinosaurids and sauropods. Dominate water element dinosaurs. Strategic considerations. Water element dinosaurs should avoid open areas during thunderstorms. Lightning element ceratopsians should target aquatic dinosaurs. Elemental cycle. Fire right pointing arrow, water right pointing arrow, lightning right pointing arrow, rock right pointing arrow, plant right pointing arrow, wind right pointing arrow, fire. Excellent continuation of the elemental interactions. Lightning element ceratopsians, Styracosaurus, Triceratops, Pentaceratops. Disadvantages. Vulnerable to rock element thyreophorans, Ankylosaurus, Stegosaurus, Edmontonia. Rock resists lightning, neutralizing electrical attacks. Rock element thyreophorans. Abilities. Resist lightning attacks. Use weaponized tails to manipulate rocks. Inflict headaches on ceratopsians with tailored attacks. Defensive body parts, armor plates, spikes protect against ceratopsian attacks. Strategic considerations. Lightning element ceratopsians should target non-rock armored dinosaurs. Rock element thyreophorans should utilize terrain for rock-based defenses. Elemental cycle reminder. Fire right pointing arrow, water right pointing arrow, lightning right pointing arrow, rock right pointing arrow, plant right pointing arrow, wind right pointing arrow, fire. You've beautifully summarized the elemental cycle and interactions. Elemental cycle. Rock element thyreophorans dominate lightning element ceratopsians. Plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods dominate rock element thyreophorans. Wind element small to mid-sized theropods dominate plant element hadrosaurs and ornithopods. Fire element large-sized theropods dominate wind element theropods. Water element spinosaurids and sauropods dominate fire element theropods. Lightning element ceratopsians dominate water element spinosaurids and sauropods. And the cycle repeats. This intricate balance showcases the strategic depth of the Dinosaur King universe. Key takeaways. Each element has strengths and weaknesses. Understanding elemental interactions is crucial for success. Adaptability and strategy are essential in dinosaur battles. Would you like to explore